Hello everyone. So today we will look at relative and absolute references in Excel. In Excel, when we write a formula and then copy it to another cell, Excel automatically changes the cell reference. This automatic change is called relative reference. By default, Excel always use relative reference. So here is the data we have. In column A, we have product's name. In column B, we have price. And in C, we have quantity. And what we need to do, we need to find the total. In cell D3, we will write a formula to count the total price by multiplying the B3 and C3. So here I'm writing the formula. As you can see here, after writing the formula, I will press enter and you can see we have 100 over here. Now drag it down. Now you can see that we have the multiplication or the total amount of all the products. Now I will press Ctrl tilde. Now you can see all the formulas. B3 multiplied to C3, B4 multiplied to C4, B5 to C5 and so on. And I will press Ctrl tilde to go back like this. Excel adjusts cell references based on where the formula is being copied. And Excel makes sure the formula should move with the data. Now we will see the absolute references. Before using any formula, let's understand one basic idea. So in Excel, when we write a formula and copy it, Excel usually changes the cell reference automatically. That was a relative reference, but sometimes we do not want Excel to change a value. So this is absolute reference, means one value must stay the same for everyone. This cell should never change even when we copy the formula. And here we can see that we have two columns, student names and total marks, and we need to find the percentage for each student. So here we will write a formula simply to divide J4 cell to J3. So you can see we have a 50%. Now let's drag it down. Now there is a problem. You can see the wrong percentage for 45, 80, 76 and so on. Let me press Ctrl tilde to see what is happening. So here you can see that the formula is behaving like relative reference, but we are performing absolute reference. So now what we can do, now we will make our J3 column absolute by pressing F4. So this, so that dollar sign represents absolute reference. Now our J3 cell is locked for every other cell. Let's drag it down and you can see that our formula has been changed. Now every column is being divided by J3 cell. So this is the absolute reference. Now let me press Ctrl tilde to see your data. So here you can see that we have a perfect solution. For 50 marks 50% and for 45 and so on. I have another example to practice absolute reference. Here you can see that we have our data. We have 4 columns A, B, C, D. Each column have its own data and we need to find total price. So how we can do that? First we will multiply the price quantity and then the text rate. So let's do it. We will click on E2 cell and write this formula. Here B2 multiplies C2 and D2 is our absolute reference. 1 plus absolute referenced D2 adds text to the total price, and here you can see the result. Let's drag it down and this. So this is our final result, our total price that we collected, and where our D2 is our absolute reference. And here you can see after multiplying price to quantity and adding the text rate, we have 37.8 in total. Let's press again tilde to see our formulas, and here you can see that D2 cell is being added to every cell because it is the absolute referenced cell. Now if I type any other number here at text rate, for example I type 4 or 10, then there will be no effect on our final result because that is being calculated by the fixed cell D2. And that is why the absolute reference is very useful. Let's quickly remove it, and that's it. So this was all about absolute and relative references. I hope you understand it.